prefer over others. We have ideologies we prefer over others. We have our carnal, instincts to be mad or to be sad or to yell. This is perfectly normal. Hello and welcome. Today I want to share a quick thought on something that is unfortunate, I would say. I wish we were talking about better things. And I know most of us are reeling from the recent tragic event, and I just want to take a moment to circulate a couple of reminders that are useful in times like these. Okay, so it is saddening. It is saddening that we witnessed another attempt on a president's life. This is not the first time. This, I guess, will not be the last by the trends of things, resulting in loss of life and further fueling conflict as always. So I always say that it's important to reflect during these times. As people, we're removed from that. We're in our homes. Hopefully we are safe. So it is important to take the time to reflect when something like this happens, before we open our mouths, before we do any action, before we get into any, heated conversations with other folks. So just a couple of reminders for myself always, but also for anyone who's interested in hearing them. First, I want to point out that how we react is highly influenced by the sources of information we have and their affiliations. It is crucial to seek balanced perspectives if we are going to look for that information and not be swept away by biased narratives. On this event that just happened, again, this is the attempt to assassinate former President Donald Trump in the United States of America. You will see many perspectives, many reactions ranging from, being saddened and calling for revenge to not believing that it happened, calling it a staged PR stunt. And we have already started seeing, jokes, seeing jokes in bad taste circulating. And so we have to remember that wherever we get our information, it will be presented a certain way, and it could, and I'm sure it will, influence our reaction to it. Second, amidst such tragic events, there are always innocent victims no one talks about. The families that are shattered, the lives that are forever changed. Those people deserve your thoughts and mine, and your prayers and mine just as much, if not more. I want to remind everyone that if you are a regular person who is not a celebrity, not a political leader, no one famous really, and something tragic happens with politics or with the celebrity world, and a life is lost collaterally, we have a bigger chance of being that life, or our families have a bigger chance of being that innocent life than us ever being the target of attacks in public, because we are not famous people. So sometimes it's easy to make jokes and to be affiliated to a party and to call left and right names, but we quickly forget the real people that asked nothing, that did not plan that day to lose a family member, of course, or the innocent life that is lost, that necessarily is tragic because that person was not involved in any celebrity life or political life. We are the people. We are those people. And then perhaps most importantly, it's okay to not participate all of the time, especially if it means spreading hate, right? And feeding into the conflict. Sometimes the most powerful act is simply to step back and refuse to be part of the cycle. Again, especially if it means spreading hate. Now, this one is not easy. We are human beings, we have feelings, we have people we prefer over others, we have ideologies we prefer over others. We have our carnal, instincts to be mad or to be sad or to yell. This is perfectly normal. But when we can, if we are able to, we can choose to not participate in hate. We can choose to not participate in the hype unless it's something constructive. In times like this, I'm reminded of a verse from Ephesians that I have been talking about for at least the last 3 or 4 episodes. I think it's always relevant, and I will always bring it back when something like this happens. That cautions us to not fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities and power. And it reminds us to not conform to the ways of the world, but to renew our minds. It's not the same verse, but it's in the same Bible for anyone who hasn't opened a Bible yet. I do invite you to think about that, to meditate on that on smaller scale, this looks like a battle of parties or a battle of individuals or a battle of races, a battle of genders, a battles of ideologies, whatever it may be. But truly what is happening, and the faster everyone catches on, the better off we will be, is that we're fighting a fight about good versus evil. It is that simple. And good versus evil isn't the good that I want versus the evil that I think you are. No. Good necessarily comes from God. Evil necessarily isn't of God. If you are new on this channel, this is what we talk about most of the time. We talk about faith, political. Sometimes it involves political events, bringing us to looking at, how we can grab wisdom out of it, or how we can come to wisdom and to truth. And I do spend time defending the faith in a series called Christian Apologetics. I invite you to look at it, especially to anyone, who is non-religious, non-Christian, who's a non-believer at all, an atheist, to consider these things and look at the world for yourself. I think that staying focused on the bigger picture, the clearer picture, can be challenging for most of us, but it's not impossible. So here's my challenge. I urge the younger generation listening today to do better than my generation, to seek wisdom, to seek God in all things, and give him a fair try in your lives. My generation often put God on the sidelines or kicked him away, mocked him, and I can honestly say we see the consequences, the greatest ills of our time. So let's learn from that and strive for better. And I think it starts with the youth and anyone who's tired of taking part in things that are not beautiful, in things that feel ugly. We don't have to be this way. None of us do. And there is someone who cares about us, who invites us to seek wisdom and do better. Now, we might say, well, it's not easy to look for wisdom. What does that even mean? And I just want to remember everybody that wisdom can be asked for in prayer. Again, for anyone non-Christian, non-believer, non-religious person listening to this, maybe you have a little chuckle saying, well, of course, you're going to point to your God and your religion. But test it out. I'm not sure what you have to lose, really. And to anyone that is Christian and is taking part in these discussions, we should remember to look at everyone as children of God, because they are. It is easy sometimes to remember that anyone who seems to be spreading hate received hate too. People who sometimes have never been given grace and patience and space to evolve, space to change, space to come to truth, time to heal. And so I'm reminding myself and everyone who cares to listen to this that everyone is a child of God. Everyone needs a compassionate ear, or everyone needs a hand extended to them. Everyone needs grace. And it's hard for us to do that, but it's not hard for God. And if we look for God, if we look to God, it'll help us look to other people with the same eyes He does. So those are the reminders I wanted to spread out. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this story. I know that it will be, taken into many different directions depending on who you are, or, what kind of content you watch. But let's seek understanding and peace. And by ourselves, that is impossible. You already know that. But there is what people call the guy upstairs that can help. That's it for me. I hope you found this meaningful or helpful in any kind of way. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to embark on this journey with me, but also do send this to someone who needs to hear this message. Until next time, take care.